Test.
If everyone will have a seat, we'll call our Halloween meeting to order. Council needs to have a seat. Welcome to the Monday, October 31st meeting of the Mayor and Council of the City of Roswell. I would like to invite James Lewis to come forward and lead us in the pledge. If we'd all stand and face the flag. Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. And James, you're not done yet. If you'll come to the microphone, I'd like to find out which troop you're with and what brings you here tonight.
I'm with Troop 841. I'm here for my communications badge.
Welcome to the City Council. Councilman Orleans, who is not here, was a Boy Scout, and I'm an Eagle Scout, and I encourage you to continue and get your merit badges and become an Eagle Scout. It's a great achievement, and you're with the right group. Welcome, and good to have you here tonight.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, James. Is that Councilman Orleans? You'll have to give us a moment. This is a scary face. Where's my police protection when I really need it? He's scared. He's back there scared.
Would you like some candy?
Oh, Reese's Peanut. That's my favorite. Thank you, sir. Let me see if I can. Did it scare him? No, he's. And one of these days I'm going to break this thing. Let's have a hand for the Grim Reaper. Take a bow, Grim. It is Councilman Orleans. Congratulations, Councilman Orleans.
Halloween.
It's Halloween. That is a first. That is a first for me. And I'll have to compliment Councilman Orleans on a very scary outfit. It had us all fooled. All right, this is our People's Night. If you'd like to speak, raise your hand, come forward, and before you leave, we'd like you to fill in a speaker's card. So who would like to speak first? It's Halloween. Let's not tarry. Come forward, young man. Come forward, young man, the man in the pumpkin. You'll give us your name and address, and then we'd love to hear from you. Councilman Orleans, are you sure this didn't come from last year's trick or treat?
No.
It looks a little smashed.
Well, it looks smashed.
Very tasty, though. Thank you, sir.
More.
Mr. Mayor, citizens of Roswell, City Council, Sam Evans, 150 Chafin Road, Roswell. I'm here tonight to talk again about the Visual Arts Center West. And rather than have the boards, which only y'all could see, we're going to put it on the projector. Yeah, let's put that first. All right, this is the Leela Thompson property. This property was given to the city through the efforts of Sally White many years ago. Now, the first thing that happened when this piece of land was developed is they put in a proper exit and entrance into the property on State Route 92. There it is up there. It's beautiful. The acceleration lane, an exit lane where cars do not have to move out and penetrate 1.5 lanes of traffic going to the west. Now, I have another picture. This is sort of a consolidation picture of the Leland Thompson property, which we just saw, which is right here, and the Visual Arts Center West. Now, the Visual Arts Center property was a farmhouse at one time, and when Recreation and Parks got this property, they did not do anything with the driveway, so there are 2 driveways, which I call driveway 1 and 2. Now, the city of Roswell, in its wisdom, 8 years ago, allowed this piece of land to be developed. Now, the reason I know it was 8 years ago, I got all my facts under open records. During this period of time, there have been wrecks, there have been injuries at the 2 driveways. A year and a half ago, I showed up at the people's meeting and started talking about this. Incidentally, this is my 51st year in private practice. I'm a trained highway engineer. I understand highways. I understand safety. So a year and a half ago, I showed up here and I wanted to know what the city was doing. Now, the picture we see here was a picture taken about a year and a half ago, and if you look at it now, it looked the same way. A month ago, or 6 weeks ago, I showed up at another people's meeting after a year and a half. I said, what are you people doing? Are you going to make this property safe for the city? And thanks to Dr. Price, Mrs. Diamond, they agreed to go out and look at the property. They're the only people on the city council, the only person that has given me the time of day, called me up on the telephone. I've spent my hard-earned money making boards and drawings to show y'all what has been going on for 8 solid years. Now, looking at an autopsy of what went on, it first went on, you can put the direct responsibility on the staff of the city of Roswell, because they're the ones that issued the CO that allowed this property to be developed. Last Saturday, we had a chili cook-off. We had over 100 cars at that piece of property. Thanks to Miss Diamond, she called that she had the police in attendance to help traffic out there. What is terrible is the exit ramp. This is the exit ramp right here. To come out, you see that normally a driveway should at best be 90 degrees to what it's intercepting. Just look at that adverse angle there. And for a car to move out of the Arts Center, it's going to penetrate 1.5 lanes of traffic on 92 going west. Now, what is terrible, and this is always I bring it up, go out there and try to get into exit the VCR on a Friday afternoon at 5 o'clock. First of all, you got the sun facing the 3 lanes of traffic going to the west, and you're trying to get out, and that's where T-bones occur. Now, a T-bone is where a car hits another car 90 degrees. Supposedly, the city, during this year and a half, decided that they were going to do something and create a acceleration lane. That's at the first driveway. And that's similar to the acceleration lane that we see on the Leland Thompson property, or Leah Thompson. So far, I don't know what's happening. There was no, the last time I talked to the transportation department, they were making no, and Parks and Recreation, they were making improvements on the exit ramp coming out of this property. Now, eight years is long enough for the city council to sit up back there and allow the transportation department not to build the proper driveways. Build one driveway if you have to, similar to the Leah Thompson property. But if you're going to have two driveways, occupy these two driveways, then you've got to have two exits and entrances. Now, it's time that the city council spend some of our hard-earned tax dollars, which y'all administer, and build the proper exit and entrance driveways. Now, it's possible that Colonel Ossenbeck has got some other drawings on what they're going to do besides the de-acceleration lane, but nobody except Dr. Price and Miss Nancy, that y'all are the only people on this city council that give me the time of day. I've got no dog in this fight. I don't go into the VCR, but I'm thinking about my citizens, my fellow citizens. As a professional engineer, as with in the medical profession, we have codes. And the professional engineer, if he sees something wrong, he's got to speak up. And there is something deadly wrong, and I use the word deadly, with this visual arts center. If this city council don't get on the ball, spend some of our money and build proper exits and entrances into the VCR, we're going to have y'all going to have deaths on your hands. Now, that's about all I got to say. Now, if nothing happens, I'll be here again at the next people's meeting. And I'm going to be here until I can go out there and I can see the proper engineeringly designed driveways where our citizens are protected. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Mr. Evans. Mrs. Love, I understand there are some plans for a project at on this site.
Yes, sir. For one element of the project, transportation has been working on that. The latest development related to the other driveway, we do not. Steve Asenbrack can provide the latest update of where transportation is and looking and assessing this
I'm
issue.
not as concerned about the plan right now, because I know we have a plan.
Well, for only one part.
But I guess, where does it stand as far as funding, and what would be the next step?
Well, we would have to fund the project for the one that we have identified, and then an assessment is underway between Transportation, Recreation, and Parks related to the second issue that Mr. Evans has brought up. And there is no funding, obviously, for that one as well, because that one hasn't been brought forward.
And either Mr. Asenbach or Mrs. Love can answer this question. Where does this project stand on our list of priorities?
I would ask Mr. Asenbrack to address that relative to the other transportation projects.
I'd like to stay here because I don't hear too well.
Sure, that's fine.
First of all, I'd like to say congratulations, Mr. Evans. 51 years as a professional engineer is quite an accomplishment, and I think the city owes you a debt of gratitude for all your support and your hard work in our city over the years. He's my hero. The decel lane, as Ms. Leigh mentioned, is in our list of projects. It was rated and ranked with a number of our projects. The issue is that we didn't fund it this past year, and we will put it on our list of projects again next year for the council's consideration for funding again. We have the deceleration lane has been designed and permitted by the Georgia Department of Transportation and is ready to go.
Do we know what the estimated project cost is?
Mayor, as I recall, I don't have it right off the top of my head, but I was thinking around $70,000 was the staff estimate for last year, and it was just one of the projects that we submitted as one of many projects for consideration.
So that will be in the budget cycle this year?
Yes, sir, it will be.
And that will be
on
unless a council member wishes to put it into a mid-year budget, it would be voted on
for the fiscal year 13 budget submission. Yes, sir.
It'll be coming forward with a number of other projects.
Yes, sir.
All of which are important for safety.
Yes, sir.
So we have a lot of issues to address, and unfortunately not enough money to address all of those issues. But this is among a number of projects that will be considered.
I could address the exit ramp if Mr. Evans would allow me, and you, Mr. Mayor.
If you'd like to address the exit ramp, feel free to.
Mr. Evans was
When you
correct.
say exit, is this as you're entering onto 92? Or you're
That's correct.
exiting
Exiting
off of
the
92?
facility and entering onto state. Right. One is an entrance and the other is an exit. The staff, because it's a 6-lane state route, it was our experience in doing the design for the deceleration lane that it was actually quite a bit of work to get the permit for GDOT. This would be a driveway encroachment permit. So Mr. Glover is on vacation right now, but I had a lengthy conversation with him before he left, and we kicked around a bunch of options. One option was to actually move the driveway apron over to accommodate sort of the existing road network. But we realize that we do that, we're going to run back into the jaws of GDOT again. So what my staff is doing right now is exploring various options with the Recreation and Parks Department, which is to basically look at doing some internal road work realignment that would keep the driveway in its current location, and we would do it then on Park and Rec's property. That would not trigger a driveway encroachment permit from GDOT, and we think we could do that both faster and potentially with our own in-house forces, and we're still kicking around some options for that. I'll just tell you that one of the reasons it makes this a little bit problematic is that you're actually going down a hill. The site is above the grade of the road, and so really the reason that this turned out the way it was is sort of cuts across the topography. If we go more at a 90-degree angle, which Mr. Evans is correct, that is the preferred way, unfortunately it points the car down a hill a little bit more of a grade. And so what we have to do is we either have to do some road work or look at some earthwork to scrape some of that hill down, or come in at a little bit more of a skewed angle, which would make the turning radius a little bit harder. But we're kicking around all those various options, and I will have something to report on perhaps by the committee meeting or sometime in the very near future.
Thank you, Mr. Eisenbach.
Yes, sir.
Mr. Evans, do you have any other questions for Mr. Eisenbach?
Mr. Mayor, I got your attention. I got the city council's attention, and I thank you, sir. And that's my real purpose.
We appreciate your bringing it to our attention. Thank you, Mr. Evans. Who'd like to speak next? Yes, come forward, please. If you'll give us your name and address, we'd appreciate it.
Good evening. My name is Eliana Perez. I live at 5080 Broughton Street here off of Woodstock Road. This topic is very important to me, so important that I'm not out trick-or-treating with my children. I come really to plead that over the next couple of weeks before the next meeting, where the fellowship school topic is going to come up, that you keep some of these points top of mind. The Design and Review Board did not come to a decision in their last meeting for the lights and sound, so my understanding is the topic comes back to you. We know this isn't going to go away. We know that they are going to be able to get the lights and the sound in their stadium, but we're hoping and pleading, and I speak for myself, but we have been meeting on a weekly basis as a neighborhood coalition to discuss this. We hope that some limitations can be placed. For example, limit the use of the sound system to just home varsity football games. That PA system is limited to 60 decibels. That no bands, marching, or concerts be permitted outside on their property. That the lights be permitted for home varsity football games and evening practices. No leasing or lending of the field to outside groups for the purposes of games or scrimmages, nothing that'll bring big crowds to the area. Again, no outdoor concerts. That the fields please not be used before 9 a.m. on the weekends. right now, 8:30 in the morning, we're already here cheering and sirens going off when it's the weekend and our children are just waking up. We're waking up from a long week, and we'd like to rest and not have that sound be there. Maybe to consider the installation of either some natural or artificial sound barriers to protect our neighborhood and the 2 other neighborhoods that surround the school. And then last, to announce in advance via school website or other publications the dates of when they're going to be using the field so that we can prepare. Maybe on a night of a football game or so we can go out for pizza or just go out and not have to be in our homes when the sound is very loud in our homes. We can hear it with the windows closed inside when we're watching TV. It interrupts that, and it's just sad that we can't enjoy our homes and have the sirens going off every few moments. So I plead that you consider those points. And last, I hope you have a moment and can educate me on what is going to go on the 14th. I understand that you were advised to not talk to the citizens before that meeting, which really surprised me, and I'm hoping that's not true. Maybe what's going to be discussed in that meeting? Are we going to be able to have a say? And we've thought about if maybe we could just have one person represent, so it's not just a big crowd and a big fight and a long night.
All right. This is the nature of it. This is an appeal from Design Review Board. The Design Review Board, because it was not passed, it was treated as being denied. So this technically is an appeal. Our city attorney has advised us that as an appeal, it's not appropriate to hear any new evidence. So if there's new evidence being presented, we'll be hearing it based upon the record. This council will consider what went to Design Review Board, what was previously decided at council. So this will not be an opportunity to present new evidence, but I will give the public an opportunity to be heard, not as far as new evidence, but on issues which if it's within the discretion of this council to consider the things that you've offered, perhaps to hear that argument. So my position is I will, as presiding officer, will not be hearing new evidence, but if it's arguing existing evidence or other matters which are permitted, and I'll try to get some direction from our city attorney as to what's appropriate to hear on appeal, we'll hear those. The council has been advised that this isn't really legislative; it's more a sort of a judicial function that it's creating. It's hearing an appeal, and because it's hearing appeal, it's not appropriate to sort of like listen to one side outside the presence of the other. Both sides should be able to have a say and hear what both sides are saying and not being influenced by what may be said on the side. So in trying to keep this fair and unbiased, the council has been advised, wait till we hear all the facts, hear the presentation at a public meeting. So you will have an opportunity to speak. I encourage you to come back, but we'll not be hearing new evidence, but I'll try to get some more direction from Mr. Halsey on exactly what would be outside of the form of new evidence or arguing about existing evidence.
So my request, or these limitations that I talk of, they're not considered evidence, right? That is just
this would be my suggestion. If you'll call our city attorney's office and get some direction from him on what would be admissible, what would be permissible to discuss in an appellate process, I'll be turning to him, and you can give him a call directly and ask him about all the points you made, which one of those might be considered argument, which might be considered outside the scope of. We have a limited scope of what we're reviewing. We're not reviewing the entire case over again. We're simply reviewing the decision of the Design Review Board, and I'll need some direction from Mr. Halsey before that night, and I suggest you give him a call, because I'll be turning to my city attorney's office to ask them what is admissible and what's not admissible.
So will that be a night when a decision is made, or just a night to discuss and then there will be another meeting?
Mr. Halsey, is this, there would have to be an open vote, but is this a proper subject for closure? If the council wishes to discuss this in closure, will that be appropriate for them, or is this for them to make a decision from the dais?
It's a decision from the dais, it's not proper for closure.
So we will be making, there is a possibility of deferral, but it will not be this council goes, meets separately and makes a decision. They'll be making a decision either that night from this dais, or if for some reason, and I'm not expecting one, if there's for some reason there's good grounds for a deferral and the council moves to deferral, they'll have to bring it back to this dais. But I expect they'll be making a decision.
Thank you very much.
And I hope you haven't missed all of Halloween.
No.
Thank you. Who'd like to speak next? If I don't see some hands up, we're going to go trick-or-treating. Going once, going twice, we're adjourned. Let's go trick-or-treating.